Video game bang, video game bang, video game bang. Video game bang, video game bang, video game bang.
Video game.
Mega brand. Live from the sack, it's the livest. In fact, I'm putting rhymes on this track to put my guys on the map. Cause they giving you the latest on everything on your playlist. This best, the safest, from basements to greatness. Updates, geek news, tech talk, and reviews. They can summarize it so you ain't gotta breeze through. Listen once and you're forever fans. And I'm not saying it because their theme song features Mega Ran. Skip and toss, getting off. You won't have a minute lost. You'll be tuning in daily like it was a written law. What's up, pizzas? I think that they gon' eat this up. The ultimate source on all geek media. Other podcasts, they just don't match up. Need proof? You can check the archives and catch up. Stats is off the chain. We have rearranged the game. It'll never be the same. Now it's time to feel the bang.
And we are live from the California State Fair, Sacramento. Hey, everybody, this is Curtis, and you are tuned in to Video Game Bang. Of course, brought to you by Energy Esports and our good friends, Oblivion Comics and Coffee. Come for the comics, stay for the coffee. I'm reading one of the comics right now as we speak. And Mainframe GG, don't forget Vast. As always, you're watching us live if you are watching us. If you're listening to us, then make sure to tune in live on Twitch, videogame_bang. You guys already know me. This is your boy Skip coming live. Who do we have to my left?
It's me. What's up, pizzas? Man, I just you did such a good job on last week when you hosted the show that I just couldn't bring myself to do an intro. Like, knowing that you just kept that in your back pocket and were patient with me as I fumbled through, awful intros for, the last however many months you've been on the show. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
You just broke me to pieces. I cried myself to sleep that night, but I'm stoked to be at the State Fair. David, you look good on location.
I always look good. I do feel a little bit like Ricky Bobby right now, though, because I don't know what to do with my hands, and my mic is way louder over the speakers than your guys's.
Well, you have one of those voices where it just penetrates.
It just carries.
Did anybody ever tell you you have a penetrative voice?
No, and I'm really glad that they didn't, because it makes me really uncomfortable.
You penetrate my ears with your voice.
There's got to be a better way to phrase that.
Maybe.
Speaking of phrasing things better, Emma Skies!
I'm totally not trying to fix our audio right now. This is going great.
Wait, what's happening? Can they see us?
Our audio and video isn't synced.
Oh,
so I'm trying to fix it on the fly. I mean, everything's going great. This is a fantastic time, and we're all doing really wonderful.
If anybody can do it, it's you.
I've never used Streamlabs OBS, so this is great. This is a great place for me to be right now. Anyway, I haven't been here in 8 years.
It's been a long time. It's been a fortnight.
I hate you, and I'm going to leave. Bye.
Wow, no, you got to fix our stuff.
It's been an Apex.
It's been an Apex since you've been here.
Well, now that we've all been introduced, once again, we are streaming live from the California State Fair here in Sacramento, California, in the esports room. So big shout out to Fire Up for sponsoring the event, and big shout out to Jay at Capital Fight District holding down the fort for these tournaments. I was lucky enough to be able to be one of the hosts, actually, this past weekend, Saturday, for the NBA 2K tournament. So that was real cool and fun. The Kings Guard was here. It was a blast, as always, to hang out with them and interview them and, just get to introduce them to the community, because a lot of people, don't even know that the Sacramento Kings have an NBA 2K team.
It was crazy. I couldn't make it because I was at a family gathering with my wife and her parents. So then while we were outside, I saw your tweet of like, oh, I'm going live. I'm casting this bad boy. So I pulled up the phone and I put it live so I could watch it as we're there.
Yeah.
And they have no idea what's happening. So they just think, and then you're casting it by saying the NBA players' names.
Right.
So you're like, Curry kicks it out to Abadengo, whatever. And then she's like, why are you watching the basketball? I thought basketball was over. That's how professional you were.
Oh, man.
You tricked my in-laws into thinking that you were an actual dude. I was so proud of you. Like, you crushed it. They didn't even give you like backup, and you just threw down, man. Good job.
Man. I appreciate you, man, and thank you for the kind words and compliments. Thank your family for being duped by the awesome graphics of NBA 2K and the apparently the adept approach I have to commentating.
What were your big takeaways? Is this your new like direction in life? Are you going to start trying to cast events and?
Man, I'm a natural performer, so anything where I can get up in front of people, and if it surrounds one of my passions, I would be very interested in pursuing some more commentary and whatnot in the community. So NBA 2K League, holler at your boy Skip. Video Game Bang, you know where to find me.
All right, we do know where to find you. So another person who is, how's the tech doing over there?
It's going swimmingly.
Swimmingly.
I did mess up, and then Emma fixed it. I made things worse for a minute.
And then Emma made them better?
And then Emma fixed it, and then she told me to stop touching things, let her figure this out on her own. So I think we're good, though. Oh, we should be good. We'll know in a minute when people in chat tell us that the audio is synced with the video. So, Emma, you have been at RTX for the past decade.
Yes, I have. Yeah, so I've been gone for approximately 8 years. I think I've honestly been gone for the last 8 shows, maybe something like that. So, hello, everybody. Clearly, I have to remember how to do this again because I have no idea what's going on here. This is going great. This is going really great. I'm really glad this is happening. I went to RTX. It was really, it was a fun time. This audio thing is killing me. It's like, do you remember they had that app like 2 or 3 years ago that got really big where you had to put on headphones and talk while your voice played at you on a delay and it fucked everybody up?
That sounds like a nightmare app.
That's what we're doing right now. That is what we're doing
they did
right
that
now.
On like Jimmy Fallon. It was like one of the challenges.
It's really difficult. It's really difficult.
It's a lot more difficult for people who think before they talk. Because right now, I'm in my element.
I'm severely struggling, so I do apologize to everybody else.
I got something to get you started on. So you were there, and you actually, because when people sub to the show, we play this GIF of you that went viral on Reddit a few years ago of you as a character named Yang.
Yes.
From what was the show?
Ruby.
From Ruby. And you got recognized.
I did.
For your rendition.
I get recognized for that anytime I'm in that costume. Like, I'm kind of used to it by now. It's very annoying because I don't know why it annoys me, but it's just like, I don't know. So whenever I'm in the costume, I totally understand it. Like, people recognize me because it's like me. It's in that costume. But we were at RTX, and we're not even at the convention. It's not during the convention. I'm not wearing a costume. I'm totally in regular clothes. I'm just at a bar after hours, hanging out, having fun.
Just trying to be you.
Just trying to be me. And this guy walks up, and I'm already drunk at this point, which is the important part of this story.
Drunk Emma came
I was
out to
drunk
play?
at this point. And he comes up, and he goes, "I'm sorry, are you the girl from the Dancing Yang video?" And I feel so bad for this guy because he's just like a nice guy, and I fucking lost it. I was dying. Rachel's dying laughing behind me. She's like doing the dance behind me. I'm like, yes, that's me. But I'm drunk, so I'm laughing and freaking out at the same time. I don't know why it affected me, but I was just like, I'm going to die. This is my fucking legacy at this point, is this video.
So you mentioned you were gone for like 8 episodes, which is true, and you were very sorely missed, especially on one particular episode that I feel like we should revisit just a little bit. We had one episode titled Spider-Man Far From a Home Run.
And I hate you.
No spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
All right, we won't do no spoilers.
I hate you. I hate the episode title. That movie's phenomenal. You can all just go watch it again and reevaluate all of your lives. The movie's so good. I'm actually very upset I wasn't here for that episode because I would have fought all of you physically in the room.
So
tables would have been thrown.
So for those just listening on audio, tune into Twitch Live so you can see Emma fight us all on our next movie review.
I swear to God, that movie was I've seen it twice. I can't believe the one person here named Webb hasn't seen it. Yeah, it's in your name.
I saw it yesterday instead. That was a really good movie. The Beatles. Shout out to the Beatles.
Shout out to the Beatles.
They don't get enough love.
They don't.
They don't.
We all live in the Yellow Submarine, everybody.
We'll talk about the Beatles.
Not enough. Yeah. I'm the walrus.
Emma,
Cuckoo.
I think you might have been the reason why I didn't like the movie so much.
Because I hyped it?
You hyped it so much, which...
Because it was good.
The first time you did this was with Into the Spider-Verse, and it delivered.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, 100%. So when
So did Far From Home.
No.
Yeah, it did.
No, and then you
Yeah, I
said
did.
you had the gall before we went live to say that it was the best live-action Spider-Man movie.
By a mile. By a mile. Better than all the Raimi movies, better than the Andrew Garfield movies, better than Homecoming.
There's no way that it can be better than Spider-Man.
100%.
No way.
100%.
Spider-Man 2 isn't even just a good Spider-Man movie. That's just a good movie. That
It
is
is.
incredible.
Wait, Spider-Man 2 or the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2.
No, not Amazing Spider-Man 2. That was one of the big... Not Andrew Garfield. I'm talking about...
Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire, the second one. Yeah, when's the last time you watched it, Mr. Webb? I said, Webb, for those listening, Webb is shaking his head at
I think
me.
I've seen it maybe once or twice in my entire life.
And the last time you saw it was...
The inaccuracies.
It's one of those movies that really kicks in on the 10th time.
with or without assistance.
I would definitely watch it again. If the inaccuracies of the Spider or any of the comic book movies, majority, if we went on that, then we would tear them all apart because these movies are their own universe and they adapt what they feel like is best and will work in film best and whatnot. But I would go back. I would watch the storyline between Peter and obviously Sandman. Not Sandman. Yes, Dr. Octopus.
Is that the one with the astronaut?
No, that's
Astronaut. Yeah, that is the third one.
He and MJ are splits bill and she's getting married.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, no, that's 3. Yeah, there's
The important part is these movies don't matter anymore because Far From Home is better than all of them.
That's really what we're
What do
getting
you
at.
like about Far From Home so
Everything. Okay, so
Yeah, without
Far From
spoiling,
Home,
yeah.
What do you
right.
like?
So Far From Home has everything. Spider-Man, like the actual character of Spider-Man, really
It
good.
has Spider-Man.
It has Spider-Man.
Okay, we
Peter
confirmed
Parker.
Spider-Man is in the movie.
Peter Parker's fantastic. I love Peter Parker in this movie more than any other one. Tom Holland
why?
kills it. It's hard to say without spoilers, but this movie let him be a teenager. It let him be Peter Parker, the awkward, weird high school kid, which I really appreciated. I really, really loved MJ. Zendaya, I think, did a fantastic job with this. Jake Gyllenhaal stole the show for the whole thing. He killed that role. I like what they did to incorporate Mysterio into the current continuity of the MCU, because it's not exactly the same as it was in the comics, but it still has the same feeling of it, the same intent to the characters there, and it fits really, really, really well within the MCU. It meshes greatly.
They
I
tied it
the
into the MCU very well.
Yeah,
they did a good
they
job
did.
of rooting it in there.
Yeah, they did. It was just a very enjoyable movie, and you're all wrong, and that's just how it is.
I don't think you said anything that was incorrect. I think I agree with everything you said, but to a point. You said it's a very good movie. It is a very good movie, but it's not a 10 out of 10 movie. It's not a 9 out of 10 movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's not even an 8 out of 10 movie.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a 7.5. It's middle of the pack Marvel.
I respect your right to be wrong.
I believe that you believe that.
I think being middle of the road Marvel is extremely high praise because there's so many great ones out there. Like, this was a great movie by all accounts, but it's no Spider-Verse.
Okay, you say middle of the road Marvel. Who's among middle of the road Marvel? Like, what are we comparing it to?
Guardians 2. And I hold that in high regard. That's a compliment for me. I freaking love the Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know, speaking of, they are coming out. We talked about this last week. They are coming out with a Thor 4. We
Ooh,
weren't
Thor
sure if they
4.
were going to do a Thor 4. Yeah.
What does that mean for Marvel fans that he's back to direct?
Means another, hopefully, what's Ragnarok? I couldn't want to say Rasgard, but that was Thor Rasgard.
We got to thank Jay Gist like we did at the beginning of the show, but man, this is sick. Like,
This is
California
cool.
State Fair, I grew up going to this thing, you know, and this is like in that big hall where the air conditioning is, and they have it set up. They ran a 100-man like Fortnite tournament, which Emma,
Dang.
so shame you couldn't be there to cast it. Like,
So sad. I'm so upset I couldn't be here for the worst game in the world.
I would pay money to hear Emma cast a Fortnite tournament.
well, that guy.
Well, that guy's doing something. I don't know. Who
cares?
Is he in a plane now? Why are there planes in this game?
Yeah. So we got some news to talk about. A lot has happened since you've been gone, Emma, and we got the news ready to go. So where are you taking us?
So the first first thing on this is,
Oh, you
as always.
You want to do a live version of the theme song?
Oh, dear God. No.
Emma.
No, you can't have this mic. No.
It's telling the news.
That was horrendous. There are people here that had to hear that and experience that.
Live.
And you're all bad people. No, our favorite failing game store is back in the news. GameStop.
GameStop.
GameStop is trying to remain relevant. And it's interesting.
As they should.
I mean, they have to. They have to do something.
So they were trying to sell themselves. It didn't work.
No,
right?
it did not. Nobody wanted to buy them.
Nobody wanted to give them money. So now what are they doing?
So they've teamed up with a design firm called RGA to pilot new store designs in, quote, select markets, wherever that's going to be. But basically, the idea is that GameStop will be... Actually, you know what? I'm just going to read the quote that I put here, so that makes more sense. They will be piloting streamlined physical store concepts that'll present ways for gamers to try new titles before buying them. They'll have a unique layout and purpose that appeals to gamers, such as areas for competitive, homegrown e-leagues and others that specialize in retro hardware and software. So they're just kind of throwing a whole bunch of stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks.
That's good. I mean, we've seen this model failing already a little bit at the Walmarts.
Yes, we have.
Because Walmart teamed up with Esports Arena and opened up these areas where you can kind of go through and, while mom's getting groceries, you can drop Junior off to play some Fortnite. David, you almost did one of these, right?
I almost played it. I had to get my oil change, and I was at Walmart, and I walked over to the esports arena, and I looked at it. It's like $5. I got 45 minutes to kill. Spend $5. I could play some games, but then I was like, I gotta sign into things, and then like there's germs on these from the kids that are playing it. I don't feel like catching pneumonia. I'm just gonna go back to the auto center.
Is it catching pneumonia or ammonia?
He said ammonia.
Both.
Ammonia is a cleaning chemical.
I don't want to catch ammonia or pneumonia. I don't want to catch either one. Either one sounds good.
So basically the idea that it sounds like they're trying to do is they're trying to offer GameStop less as a store and more as a destination for you to do things, I guess. So they basically need to get bodies in the door. So they're trying to give you this place where you can try games before you buy them, which I guess makes sense. But I mean, you guys worked at GameStop. You know the people that come in and just sit on the demo reel for 4 hours and you're like, Sir,
you can't do that here, sir.
Sir, I need you to leave.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was never one of the GameStop employees to kick people out who were doing that stuff, but at a point you do because, like, you want the store empty to, like, decompress and, and you got a kid sitting there who won't get off the machines. It's pretty annoying. One thing I do remember, though, because there was a bit in here about retro games, too, right?
Yeah. So I guess it was kind of thrown in almost as like an afterthought that they're going to, I don't know if they're going to try and theme some of their stores around a certain thing, but it sounds like they're going to try and basically create some of these stores that only specialize in retro gaming. So we were talking before the show, like there's a whole bunch of those in, I'm going to say this wrong, Akihabara in Japan, where like going to these retro game stores / museums is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're kind of trying to go off that or...
I remember I was working at GameStop at the point they started really discontinuing N64 and PlayStation stuff. So they made a big deal, like, okay, we're only taking this stuff for like another month. And people came in droves to drop off all of their old gaming equipment to make $3. So I know for a fact GameStop is sitting on warehouses of just old retro gaming stuff. And that's kind of making a big comeback. Like, retro gaming is super cool again with the Game Boy. They're discontinuing the Nintendo DS. So they're going to have to hold on to all that stuff. And portable gaming is going to get really expensive.
Yeah.
You missed all that story about the Nintendo Switch.
No, the Switch Lite?
Yeah. You interested in any of that?
No.
Not at all.
Because I don't care about Nintendo. Having a $100 cheaper Switch does not make me any more interested in the Switch than I was before.
So it wasn't that $100 that was keeping you...
It was not. It was not.
Right.
So I took a look at their fiscal report for Q1 of this year, and it kind of is starting to make sense a little bit. So their overall sales are down 13%. Their hardware sales are down 35%. Like, everything is going down. Software sales are down. Digital sales are down because apparently they do digital sales. One of the only things that's up is their collectible sales are up 10%. And as far as I know, that's before ThinkGeek just shut down their online store. I actually just got a whole bunch of, well, not a whole bunch. I got a couple things from the ThinkGeek, like liquidation sale.
$5 bag.
Yeah, now that ThinkGeek was not overpriced because it was on super liquidation.
Right.
So they got rid of all of their online stock, and it's all being moved into GameStop. So I figure the idea here might be created as a destination to get bodies in the door and then sell them your collectibles, because that's the only thing people are buying.
Speaking of ThinkGeek, did you get that Bing bag, Corey, that didn't come with beans?
No, so I was using the Wish app.
It's the Wish app. Okay, yeah.
The Wish app.
I got a cell phone holder for my car coming from China.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's still in Hong Kong.
This Wish app is pretty sketch. I got a phone charger. Be careful.
Oh,
Because I got an iPhone charger off the Wish app for free. I plugged it in for like 3 seconds, and my phone went like nuclear.
Yeah, don't.
Like,
So
I thought
you're-
someone turned the heater on in my house.
So you're new to iPhones and Apples and stuff like that. Don't use third-party chargers. Never use a third-party charger.
Lesson learned.
Well, and the thing with Wish is everything's so cheap because they're all like cheap knockoffs. Nothing you're buying is real. Nothing you're buying is bait. Like the photo that you're looking at is not what you're buying ever. That is never a photo of the product you're ordering.
But you wished it was.
But you wish it was, and that's why it's so cheap.
Well,
But the thing with Wish is you really need to be careful ordering that site. Check your bank statement for like the next 6 months, because they will just send you random charges. Once they have you buy something and they have your credit card on file or whatever card you use on file, people will be like, I've been charged $30 a month since I bought something from Wish, and I never noticed until, however many months online. So keep an eye on your bank statement.
Why can't we trust anything anymore? Even that face app that makes you old. There's a bunch of stuff going around saying that, oh, now China owns you.
Yeah. And Russia.
Let's be real. I have an Alexa. They've owned me for a while. They know what I look like. They know what I sound like. We host an internet podcast, you guys.
Yeah.
We're out there.
Yeah.
Well, and FaceApp isn't new. Like this feature, this filter that's going out right now is new. Obviously, it's like the thing people are obsessed with right now. But FaceApp as a whole is not a new thing. So people are like rediscovering the same thing every like couple years. Something else goes viral, and it was the same issue they had with that Meitu app, like MEITU.
Oh, that's right.
Which was like a beautifying thing. Like it had all these beauty filters, and it was like a Chinese app that was just taking all of your information.
The counterpoint I saw to that, though, is that like a lot of the same like stuff that's hiding in that terms and agreements is the same stuff that they put in Snapchat and Facebook. So it's just a different country owns you now.
That's fair.
So America first, and then everybody else.
That's horrible. That is, you disgust me. You're a bad person. Yeah, it's just your information's out there. If you were born, I feel like if you were born after like 1990, if you're before 1990, you might be a little bit safe. But if you're born after 1990, everything about you is everywhere.
You're on the grid.
There is no getting off the grid. Because if you're not, even if you're super, super careful, somebody close to you is not.
Yep.
So all information
Well, that's how
is out there.
Facebook was getting people, remember? Because it was like, it wasn't even you signing up for Farmville. It was David Webb signing up for Farmville.
How dare you? I never played that game a day in my life. That is slander.
All right. I'll be honest, you were my scapegoat because I played the hell out of Farmville.
You're a bad person.
and I owned several scapegoats.
And all of your friends are suffering for it.
The black scapegoat. I owned the white scapegoat. I owned
The pink scapegoat was rare.
Scapegoat,
yeah.
The unicorn scapegoat.
Yeah. So I don't know. GameStop's doing the right thing, I think.
They're doing all they can. They have to do something. They're going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're trying. They're trying to stay in. So the next thing we have is PlayStation has announced their first conference since last year's E3.
All right.
So,
interesting. You got my attention.
Yeah, so we know, obviously, they weren't at E3. They kind of abandoned the whole thing. They're like, we don't need you. We'll do our own thing. So they're still not doing their own thing. I don't know if they're planning on doing their own thing at some point later in the year, but they will be at China Joy in Shanghai on August 1st, and they have a 2-hour press conference scheduled.
2 hours?
Yeah. So all they've said is that they will be, quote, teasing 7 new games, of which I'm sure Last of Us 2 is going to be one because we have that coming up pretty soon. We'll probably hear a lot about the PS5, given all of the... There's been a mix of like things that were leaked and then things that were kind of quietly announced about the PS5 in the last however many months. We've talked about a lot of them, so I'm sure they'll talk about that in a more public capacity at this. The other thing is I'm wondering if they're going to talk about their new PSVR, because I guess they patented that and that got out this week. That the PS5's PSVR, essentially equivalent headset, will be wireless and it'll include eye tracking.
Whoa.
Which I think is probably going to be the next step in like really, really good VR, is tracking where you're looking.
Yeah. Have you, Curtis, maybe you could fill me in because you're the tech guy on the show, but I've seen already some Twitch streamers can stream with these glasses that show what they're looking at. How do you do that? Is it just crazy expensive?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be here. I'd be on an island sipping pina coladas right now.
No, it's actually not that expensive to do eye tracking. Whether it's glasses that you're wearing or a program that just uses your webcam to go after it. There's a streamer that I've seen that does he does coding, and he streams coding and he does it with eye tracking, so you can see exactly what he's looking at and how he codes.
So what do you need to get started? Because this is intriguing.
I think it's just like a software thing. At the lowest end, you can just get software that utilizes your own equipment, like your own webcam. There are definitely much, much more expensive, much higher end, much nicer ways to do it. But at an entry level, I think you can just do it with regular software.
I think it's cool how there's like streamers out there using it for good, like to code and stuff like that. But the times I've seen it in practice is like when Greek God X is streaming and he does like those don't look at the boob challenges. So he just goes to YouTube and just tries to prove that he can look at people's eyes.
That's horrible.
Like that.
But exactly what I would expect it to be used for. I think the idea of having eye tracking in your VR is going to be kind of the next step in upping the game in VR. So you don't even have to necessarily move your head so much. I don't know if it's going to come into like peripheral vision, like maybe wherever you're looking is rendered perfectly, but something in your peripheral vision maybe isn't fully rendered, which would probably help a little bit. Who knows? It's also going to be $250. That's the price range right now on the patent was $250.
Wow, for the
headset.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah,
everybody.
which is not bad.
VR is here.
Although I don't know if that includes, like, when you buy PSVR now, you have the headset and you also have the Move controllers or the gun thing, or you have the actual thing that you have to hook up to your PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if that includes that whole kit or if it's just the headset. So we'll see. They're also going to be at Gamescom later in the same month. So August, they'll have 2 different exhibitions where hopefully we'll hear some new things from PlayStation.
All right. We'll be looking forward to that from them.
So we do have one other big story, but we're going to skip over it momentarily and talk about the littler ones so we can stay on topic for a bit. Shocker of all shockers, Fallout 76 has put out something that's not very good.
We're on the right track, though.
I am so totally shocked. I can't believe this is a thing. Oh, my God.
Wait, weren't you playing it, David?
Yeah, but I spent $15 on it.
Okay.
So
Wait, what do you mean you spent So you own it, though?
I own it.
Okay. Not going back?
I mean, when I have time to play it, I play it. It's not something that I'm like, I got to get home and play Fallout 76 now. I need to get those rads. No,
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Okay. What's so bad about this update?
So I didn't actually go through the whole thing because it was a massive list, and I was just like, basically all this list tells me is it's bad.
You don't want to read all this Fallout 76 patch notes?
No, I don't.
Wow.
But
no dedication to the craft.
It's so buggy that on, I guess, the Fallout 76 subreddit, somebody started like a really comprehensive list of all the bugs people are reporting. And if you scroll through it, it's dozens and dozens of just bugs, from anything like the weapons glitching or just like kind of quality of life stuff that kind of got decreased. One of the big things is the legendary drop rates have declined significantly. Like, people are farming legendary enemies and getting nothing for it. And apparently there are entire areas of the map now that will just kill you the second you walk into them. Like, the game glitches, you walk into this area and you just die for no reason.
All right, not Blizzard. They're acting like Blizzard, but Bethesda needs to just take Old Yeller behind the shed.
They haven't even put out their big update yet. That's what they're riding on, is their big DLC update kind of thing that's coming, where they're going to introduce NPCs.
This is awful. No, they need to just take all of the... That's probably what happened. They took all the good people and they moved them over to Elder Scrolls 6 and the space game, whatever that one's going to be called.
The space game. That's what it's called.
The space game by Bethesda.
The space game.
It could be called that, and I would buy it.
I'd buy the crap out of that game.
As long as it's not...
I'd buy the early alpha edition.
Here's the thing that you got to keep in mind with Bethesda. All right, we give them a hard time on the show because Fallout 76 is so bad, but it's like if Snoop Dogg came out, and I'm pretty sure he's done this, put out like a heavy metal album.
Probably.
You can't just say, oh, now Snoop Dogg's garbage now, he's washed up. Right. This project is awful. Right. Let them come back to hip-hop. Let Bethesda go back to single-player RPG experiences with branching storylines, and they're going to knock it out of the park. They're out of their element.
Or just only ever team up with Arcane, because those games are always good.
Yeah, that'll work. No qualms.
Let's see, the small one we have. So PUBG's 4th season. Apparently there are seasons in PUBG now. I've been off this game for so long, I have no idea what's going on. But they're about to enter season 4, and apparently it's introducing a backstory for the PUBG universe.
Said PUBG needed.
Finally, I want to know what happened in this area and what the storm is.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this.
It's not the storm, it's the circle. We're talking PUBG, not Fortnite.
I thought they were both storms.
It's not a storm. It's just the circle. As far as I know.
I was right there with you. I have no idea. This game did not
no,
need
it's
a
poison
story.
gas.
Oh, is it poison
It's
gas?
poison gas. I remember.
Are you just saying that? Or
No, I'm like.
You're a very convincing liar.
I am.
Is it?
If you believe it, if you
am.
believe it, it's not a lie.
Anyway,
I don't
we're
think that's how
all
that
talking about
works.
things we don't know because we haven't played this game in 8 years. But so I'm just going to read you what Kotaku wrote because that's always great. So it says, the premise debuts in a new trailer set on the game's first map where a boy is the lone survival of some unspecified conflict. The boy grows up to be a man obsessed with survival, and so he now organizes the entire battle royale for his entertainment, I guess? Like, that's... What? Why was this necessary?
You know what? Hold on. I was really getting ready to take a nice, healthy heaping crap all over this premise. I really was. But then I remembered Super Smash Brothers is completely based off of this premise. The boy walks into the room, he's got all the figures there, and then when he walks out of the room, they fight each other.
There's a premise to Smash?
Smash?
Yes.
The original
Yeah.
storyline for Smash is like Toy Story. It's like it's all in the imagination of the child. That's why the boss is like the hand. That's the hand of the child playing with the toy and stuff.
Yes, I definitely know exactly what you're talking about. I am 100% aware of everything that's going on right now.
Master Hand, we're sorry.
That's horrible.
And then the last one we got here in the Bang Bites, I'm super excited about. Overwatch Summer Games kicked off. It's back. Lucio Ball.
That's all I care about. That is
Yeah.
all I care about. Okay, the bad thing about Lucio Ball that I've noticed the last few times it's come out is I can never get a match when it starts. Overwatch consistently puts me into a match where I'm down 7 points in the last 30 seconds of the game.
Oh, backfill.
It is impossible for me
Yeah.
to get a game when it starts.
What's your rank?
In Lucio Ball, I
Yeah.
don't play ranked.
Wow. All right. Well,
'Cause I don't care
What's
enough.
the point?
To have fun, Corey. To have fun.
It's fun to do well. That's the only reason I like Lucio Ball, because in the game itself, I'm like high gold, low plat, which is pretty bad for as much time as I put into the game. But in Lucio Ball, I'm like high diamond, like creeping up into masters and stuff. So
I think it's because nobody cares about Lucio Ball
exactly,
ranked.
and I'm fine with that. It's a small pool, and I'm a bigger fish in this little Lucio Ball game. So I play it and I take it serious, and I rage and get mad just like you're supposed to when you play video
That's
games.
a very unhealthy way to game. That's the thing I hate about gaming is when I get to a point where I'm angry at a game and I'm physically mad, I just put it down.
No,
And
impossible.
I go away. And I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't understand people that get to the point of like breaking their things or throwing things or like really like just affecting your own mood.
If you're
Just
not,
walk away.
For me, the night ends in two ways: like in victory, and sweet victory, and a big smile, and a glass of water and a GG, or I'm just mad. And my wife knows when I come out of that room and the door slams a little bit harder, and she's like, "Rough night." Yeah, miserable.
That's a little sad, Corey. What do you drink when you lose? When you win, you drink water. Apparently,
When I
instead of
lose,
Gatorade, like you should.
milk.
Should. Oh. You know what? No, that's fine.
To punish myself. I did bad.
Because you're like,
I have to punish myself. But it's not. So besides Lucio Ball, we got some other cool stuff, though. Why did everybody... I need Emma's perspective maybe on this one, because everybody lost their damn minds on that Hanzo skin.
I love it.
Why?
I don't know. The design is very simple and it's very, I don't know. It's just aesthetically pleasing, I guess. I only saw the picture I saw was just the back view. It didn't have the front, so it's like showed his quiver and everything. It just looks like a cool skin. I think the one everybody needs to be going for is that Torb skin.
Torbjorn is meta now because of this damn skin. He's still the worst character in the game, but his pick rate is like 100 right now because you have to wear this beach Torbjorn with the short shorts. You can see like his fanny pack and his bare body. It's arousing.
What an uncomfortable way to explain that skin.
How would you have done it?
and the cadence that he was talking in, and it was like he was picturing it in his mind as he was
Children present.
It's etched into my mind. How would you have described it?
not like that.
A bathing suit.
I need to break the fourth wall for a second because so we talked about this a little bit about in the show in the beginning how we can hear ourselves over the speaker, and I forgot for a second, and then Emma got really intense about something. I was like, "Who's yelling over there? What's going?" Oh, it's Emma.
It's still very much messing with me. I'm struggling real hard.
You're doing great.
I feel like I'm talking much slower than I usually do because I'm trying to compete with my own voice coming 5 seconds after I speak.
Emma versus Emma. Who will win?
But I guess they're doing 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks long. It runs from July 16th to August 5th, and I guess each week has a new set of challenges that give you new loot. So they're kind of trying to keep you on for the whole time instead of just like, oh, I'm gonna get on for this. What I do, you're like, I'll get on for like 1 or 2 days, get what I want, and then leave and not come back.
They blended two ideas because usually in between big events they'll do this thing where win 9 matches and you get like a really cool diva skin.
Right.
And then this time they're doing that for each of the week like you had said. But in my opinion, these skins aren't super cool to like, oh, I gotta have these. It's like America Reaper, German.
That American Reaper one though is, I don't know why they gave that one to Reaper. I don't like, nothing about Reaper screams like
America.
Massive patriotism.
Yeah.
Like, but it's a really cool skin.
It's the best
It's like
one.
if Captain America were Reaper.
Yeah. It's definitely the best one, but then after that, I think, well, who's the other ones? Reinhardt and who else?
May has one.
Oh, May, yeah.
And hers is like, I mean, it just
Okay.
it's just another color scheme on
That's
her
what she
regular.
needed was another skin. She's already got the best ones. Like
Yeah.
the Boba one is probably the best one in the whole game right now, besides Torbjorn.
You can fight me on Witch Mercy. That will always be the best skin in the entire
Ooh,
game.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you
Which
that
Mercy?
Wit, I hate you.
This close. I was this close.
one. So that's awful, David. The I think this is okay. It's good. One thing when Papa Jeff did his developer update is that he said like, hey, you guys have gotten pretty good at timing when new heroes are coming out. So what we're gonna do is we're going to extend Lucio or the summer games, and we're going to give you your new hero a little bit later. And he was very specific to say that it's a he. So Hero 31 is going to be a dude. And I think based off of just the release, people are timing it to maybe be a DPS character, because I don't think we've had one of those in a little bit while. I think it was like tank, healer. I can't remember.
Because Batiste was the last one, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait, maybe it's up for a tank then. Wait, because we had Ash.
Because he's a healer. Ash was before. It was Ash and then Batiste.
Baptiste. So maybe we're getting a tank.
Baptiste?
Yeah, Baptiste.
I haven't really played since he came in, so I don't know.
It's definitely not Baptista. Yeah. Oh, we'll be keeping our eye on that one. But let's get to the thing you really want to talk
I'm very,
about, Emma.
I love my
I'm
award
going to hand the
shows.
microphone to Curtis because he's the only one they could throw down with you probably.
Well, I love my award shows, so we're going to take a quick break off of video games here on Video Game Bang and talk about some TV because the Emmy nominations came out today. Did any of you pay attention to any of those?
Yep.
Nope.
Cool. So the most, like the headline that you're seeing everywhere is that Game of Thrones garnered 32 Emmy nominations.
None of them for season 8.
All of them for season 8.
Did you guys watch the that thing that came out?
The documentary?
Yeah, the documentary.
I won't put any more of my time into that show.
It was worth a watch because you could see, you know how we talk about on the show about for video game developers crunch?
Yeah.
You could see that night shoot really messed with people. Like people, it was months of becoming basically nocturnal to record this stuff, and by the end of it, they're beat down. The makeup people are just destroyed. The snow guy, there's a guy whose job is like snow.
Oh, I thought you meant Jon Snow. That snow guy? That snow guy? I can't remember his name.
The
What
real
was it?
snow guy, the real hero of that show was this dude who was shoveling all the damn snow the entire series, and so that dude like. It was funny in that series because at the beginning you see him on snow, and then they send him to Dorne to like do some sand stuff, or he's like, I got promoted to sand. Like he's all stoked and he's doing sand.
He doesn't like it because how coarse it is.
No.
Get out.
I hope they give that guy an Emmy. He should go up there and accept it himself with his little shovel and be like, I made this happen.
So they got 32 nominations, and I know a lot of people are like, season 8 was so bad. Why is this terrible? I will say only one of those 32 was for writing. So the only writing nomination they got was Benioff and Weiss were nominated for the last episode, which I don't agree with, but whatever.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are like acting and effects and
Cinematography
behind the
and stuff.
scenes and
Yeah, which was
cinematography,
actually
directing, like all the stuff that was still good,
Right.
but like suffered from really, really bad writing.
Right.
it was pretty notable that Gwendolyn Christie, who plays Brienne, Alfie Allen, who plays Theon, and Carice Van Houten, who plays Melisandre, all had to submit themselves for Emmy nomination because HBO didn't do it. So the way these award shows work is that, you know, there's the Academy or the motion. I don't know what the board is called for
the Emmys.
For the Emmys, I can't remember what they're called. But you know, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, I think it might be, doesn't just like watch all this TV and pick what they like. Like you have to submit your work to be up for a nomination. So if you don't submit, it just won't get done. So they obviously submitted certain episodes, certain writing, certain directing, but they didn't. Those 3 actors noticed that HBO didn't submit them, so they submitted themselves, which isn't unheard of. Like actors will do that a lot, or their representation will do it. It doesn't usually end up in a nomination though, and they were all nominated.
Brianna freaking Tarth?
HBO was like, nah.
That she acted her butt off, especially in the night episode. Like,
Yep.
Come on. That alone, that smile, that should just be what they do.
Wow.
Like a screenshot of that tearful smile and then just give her all the fucking awards.
Well, the hard part is that a lot of these actors from Game of Thrones are in the same category. So they're all up against each other.
Okay.
I want to say it was, if I recall correctly, I believe Best Supporting Actress is like 5 or 6 people, and 3 or 4 of them are Game of Thrones actresses. So Game of Thrones is really going to sweep it. I think part of it is that they weren't able to be in last year's Emmys. The Emmys want to stay relevant, and it's the end of the show. So you usually kind of see the Emmys kind of honoring the end of a show, or these award shows. Like, you know, it's the end of a franchise, it's the end of a show, like, it's their last chance. Give them some nominations.
Some, just the interesting thing on people trying to cash in on that last hype of Game of Thrones, like San Diego Comic-Con we were talking about, they're giving them a big panel.
Yeah.
This is like their send-off, and Benioff and Weiss aren't even going to be there.
Cowards!
Oh, that's so
Absolute cowards.
I think it's at the advisor, their security team. Like, nah, we're not. It's not worth it. We're not going to die for you. We don't get paid enough for that, and you will be murdered.
Well, and like they talked about when the last episode came out, they were like, "Nah, we shut off the internet. We didn't look at anything online. We drank some wine and we just left. Like we didn't worry about it." So I think they just know they're gonna get bombarded. They know, and they're cowards and they won't face it. They're too busy working on Star Wars.
Exactly. They're going to be in that Star Wars money, and Game of Thrones is going to be but a distant memory for them.
I will be curious to see. Rurutu actually just asked in chat if they're going to be at D23 for Star Wars.
If
Benioff and
and
Weiss will be there. If they're doing anything talking about the new Star Wars or making any announcements, but I guess they won't because Rise of Skywalker hasn't even come out yet, so they'll probably save that for next year.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they will make it a point to tell everybody at Disney, tell Alan Horn, the reason we can't be there is because you guys have to promote episode 9.
So we're obviously not going to go through all the Emmys nominations. There's a lot, but the big ones, the series is. So for drama, Better Call Saul, Bodyguard, Game of Thrones, Killing Eve, Ozark, which I did not know was still on.
Okay.
Pose, Succession, and This Is Us.
Ozark is a fantastic series. If you guys
I could
haven't
not
watched
get
it.
past the first 3 episodes.
The first episode was the hook. That was craziness.
I just didn't care.
That first little twist in the first episode didn't grab you.
Nah.
Oh.
Not really.
Freaking love that show. And that's the only one that stands out to me. Do you guys watch any of the rest of these?
Bodyguard was really, really good for the first 3 episodes. Bodyguard's only 6 episodes, and the first 3 are really, really good. And the last 3 are okay.
I watched Better Call Saul, and yeah, it continues to be a good show. I mean, it's the people who did Breaking Bad, so how bad could it be?
Killing Eve, phenomenal.
Okay.
Pose I haven't watched, but I really, really want to. But yeah, as far as comedy, so they nominated Barry, Fleabag, The Good Place, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which garnered, I think, 20 nominations overall. Like, they kind of killed it. It is.
It's really good.
Russian Doll, which was so good. Schitt's Creek, and Veep. I stumbled on that one. I wasn't sure if I'd say it, but it's a name.
I love Veep.
I just started watching Schitt's Creek. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah?
It's entertaining. Yeah. Barry is really good, too.
I just started that.
I watched like maybe the first 3 episodes, and it's just busy, but it's good. I really like it.
Did we talk about Barry on our episode? Because we did an episode a few weeks back where we were talking about like shows you should be watching.
Right, yeah, I think you did mention
I think
Barry.
we did bring up Barry.
Yeah.
Fantastic show. It actually, If you would have asked me before we read this story, like, what's the status of comedies in the world? I would have been like, it sucks. But then I go through these, I'm like, oh man, we're in a good era for comedy right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Veep takes it, again, because it is its send-off. It's its final season.
Yeah.
We'll get into snubs in a minute, but what got snubbed in everything? The last season of The Big Bang Theory.
Thank God.
Yeah,
it doesn't deserve it.
It's even in my notes under snubs, The Big Bang Theory. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Please.
And I think Jim Parsons has won Best Comedy Actor 4 times for this show, and they didn't nominate it for like a damn thing.
I think that's one of those like series that just gets it because it's so popular, and so the normies who watch it and see that Big Bang Theory is clearly the funniest show because all I watch is stuff with laugh tracks. Like that. It makes sense why you'd want to keep them happy, but please.
Yeah, and then for limited series, it is Chernobyl, Escape at Dannemora, Chernobyl, Fosse Verdon, Chernobyl, Sharp Objects, Chernobyl, and When They See Us, and also Chernobyl.
I feel like you have some bias.
Chernobyl is 100% going to win. Nothing else is going to come close. The only thing I could see coming close is When They See Us, and I still think Chernobyl is going to take it.
I haven't watched any of these, but I know When They See Us gets talked about a lot, and Chernobyl does come up in conversation more. It is the more popular of the two, but I haven't seen any of them, so I can't judge.
I think that's an easy win for Chernobyl.
I think the best part of these things are the snubs, though. We got any good ones?
So the biggest snub in my mind is Richard Madden, who is Robb Stark. So Robb Stark was in Bodyguard. He was the main character. So Bodyguard is nominated for Best Drama Series. Richard Madden is in every second of that show, and he's not nominated for actor. He won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in that series, and he's not nominated for an Emmy. And I don't know how that's possible.
He forgot to nominate himself.
He forgot to.
He missed the paperwork. HBO got him lost in the
I don't
fold.
know, man. Julia Roberts for Homecoming, which I haven't watched, but again, I hear is very good.
Oh, The Pretty Woman.
Yes.
That's all I know her from.
She didn't get nominated. Jim Carrey for Kidding didn't get nominated. That was a surprise.
Was that a good show?
I haven't
movie?
seen it.
What was it?
It's a Netflix thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Robin Wright for House of Cards did not get nominated.
Robin Wright is incredible in everything. I haven't even seen that season of House of Cards, but I just know everything she does, everything she touches, she's incredible on it. My kids just went to Bubba Gump's again, and they were telling me about Forrest Gump, and I was just like, oh, man.
I bet it's one. Did House of Cards get nominated for a bunch of other stuff?
I doubt it got nominated for anything because they want to distance themselves from that whole thing.
Yeah, I was going to say with the Kevin
and
Spacey.
she just kind of suffered, and she really should have got it.
Would you say they want to give it some space?
And that is Webb's turn with the mic.
Audible groans from the live audience from the California State Fair. Audible groans.
Stick and move.
But yeah, so I love me some award shows. I'm very excited about the Emmys.
When does this actually go down? Do we know?
That's a good question that I probably should have put in here.
Well, when it does, you better know VGB will revisit this. What are your big predictions so we can go back and tell you were right or wrong?
I think Game of Thrones is going to sweep. I think if only because it's the final season and because they want to stay relevant. And, I mean, these boards aren't unbiased. They're not infallible. They're going to vote for what's popular a lot of the time. I think Game of Thrones is going to sweep. I think Maisel is going to... I think Maisel's going to sweep a lot where Veep is not concerned. I think Veep is going to take anything that it is. Because they love Julia Louis-Dreyfus. They love that whole thing. They love HBO, obviously. Chernobyl is definitely going to take limited series easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
What do you think about like the streaming services? Like I remember that was kind of a big deal last year. Like they were like, "Oh, Netflix is dominating." Is it going to be that same story, or do we think?
I actually don't know how many nominations Netflix got overall. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, what on TV was really, really good that was Netflix?
Who has regular TV anymore is a better question.
I mean, Maisel is Amazon Prime.
Okay, yeah.
That's going to be a big one. I think Amazon's going
to.
So is Homecoming
with the Devil and the Angel and stuff.
Good Omens. It came out too late. Yeah, it'll be on next year's Emmys.
Schitt's Creek is the Netflix original.
Okay.
I don't think it started as a Netflix original, but it is now.
All I watch these days is Tattoo Ink Master. So did that get nominated for anything? Dave Navarro.
Oh, you know what? I think it's on the snub list.
Yeah.
Does he even play guitar anymore?
I was about to say, does that show exist still?
Yeah, it's on Paramount Network.
Okay, so nobody watches it.
I found it.
Nobody cares about it.
Master exists,
you know what else is on?
It.
What else is on Paramount Network? And how you know nobody watches it? Bar Rescue.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of shows that go to.
Well, it was Spike. It was Spike TV.
Yeah.
You know, it's bad because we've been doing our trivia nights at Oblivion, and Emma missed the last one, but we did Disney night, and I'm not joking, all I've been watching is Tattoo Ink Master. So as I was reading the questions, I was like taking on Dave Navarro aneurysms. It was like, all right, the round is over, pens down, no more ink.
I hate it. I'm so glad.
Do you mean mannerisms?
What did I say?
Aneurysm.
Same thing.
I was really concerned where he was going with that.
That's a medical condition.
What did I say? I said mannerisms.
No, you said
I said
aneurysms.
mannerisms. Go back and listen to it. Curtis, can you edit that in post?
Sure, why not?
All right.
You hear Curtis's voice, and then Cory, aneurysm.
Curtis, just do your best impression and just overdub me.
It's just I've been taking on those Dave Navarro mannerisms.
Well, I think that's our show, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You know, the people live, we had some audio glitches at the beginning, but the good people here at Fire Up Esports Lounge and the Esports Center at the Cal State Fair got us taken care of. We are going to be here next week. Thank you, Republic of Gamers, for this mouse pad and all the other gear. You pointed to the mouse pad.
It's a nice mouse pad, though.
It is.
It's square.
Yeah.
It feels good. It doesn't move.
Yeah.
Everything here is Republic of Gamers.
We're in the streaming area, so if you're a Sacramento streamer too, they're filling this bad boy up, and you can stream at the California State Fair and have all sorts of fun. We're going to be back here. I will be back here this weekend with some NRG players, Nairo from Smash, and Garrett G from our Rocket League team, and then Nevix from the Shock will be here on Sunday. So we'll be here casting events, having lots of fun. You can come out here and meet some pros. But Emma, you're back and started streaming.
I started screaming again.
Screaming at us during this show, and then you go stream your stuff. What's your schedule looking like?
I'll be on tomorrow and Friday at 1 p.m.-ish, as usual. And then at some point, I'll be back here to stream.
All right, and David, have you just given up, man? I sit by my new iPad every night, refreshing the page, WebSlinger1, Twitch.tv, and nothing happens.
I got a busy life. I may stream again, but right now my setup's actually even just broken down. It's just taking up space, collecting dust.
He's pulling that like real artist stuff where he's like, I'll get back to. I'll put out a new album when I can.
The streamer formerly known as David Webb.
There it is. Yeah. I'm pulling a Donald Glover. Just let me do other things. Let me do other art forms.
I'm ending this David Webb character for a little bit.
Yeah.
Curtis, what about you, man?
I will be streaming tomorrow, finally, for the first time in a long time. So, yeah, I'll be back soon.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. Peace.
Video game bad.